Welcome to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
The dilemma that the U.S. has, and one of the benefits of having an electoral college, is if you look at the mix of population, by the time you add up those four states, they could pretty much control the U.S.
Yep.
So we probably need the electoral college now more than ever, or you don't have a United States anymore.
Right.
Now, but to your point, it's a complex thing. If it was easy to analyze, we'd be hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it has multiple prongs, and there are parallel paths going on at the same time. Let me just, make one observation, and I want to give you a couple examples. Something I don't hear spoken about. We're all the noise now about how many people are voting, right? So many votes and this and that. Well, I'll make this observation, and it plays into your media comment about Trump. Whether you like him or not, America is more involved in democracy today than it has been in a 100 years.
Has it really?
And that would not be the case.
That's interesting.
Without a Donald Trump in there stirring the pot and creating controversy.
That's an interesting idea.
So, one of the good
Is that a fact, by the way, in 100 years?
Oh, yeah. The number of people voting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that once the votes are tallied, this will be the highest number of folks that have ever voted in a presidential election.
I think we're at 27 million today. I saw that in the Wall Street Journal this morning.
It's crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy. Now, a couple of observations I was going to make about just how complex it is. Well, let's we kind of got to rewind for just a minute. When Trump ended up coming in, he wasn't supposed to win, if you remember. And Hillary Clinton was ordained, if you will, to be the president. So it was a fairly big surprise to the progressive liberal side of the aisle. And that's not ever been forgotten. Now, so the question is, why was it such a big deal? They've lost before, just like the Republicans have lost before. I don't have the answer, but I'll make an observation. We're talking about a very successful business person that just came in who was using these words, drain the swamp. Well, that's basically a frontal attack on politics. And when you're talking about draining the swamp, you're talking about the Republicans and the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about these folks that have made, lifelong careers out of serving America. No, getting what they want for themselves.
Right.
Now, I don't want to discount, or there are good people in there that are serving, but I would say I've been watching the candidates that are coming forward to run for both the House and the Senate in the last 8 years. It's a different group of people. It's people that are actually talking about, I want America to be better.
It's a better group of people.
They're coming out of the medical field. It's not just attorneys that have political science degrees that, from the day they got out of school, went to Washington and worked for some elected official with the idea that they were going to turn that into a career. Mm-hmm. These are folks that haven't been in politics before, that are coming in and saying, I want to do something good. Now, that's not to take away from the fact there's this machine in politics where you can leave politics, get a job in a media organization, write a book, whatever that happens to be, and you're gonna be fine because, like it or not, we've set it up that way.
Exactly.
But if we can get folks coming in that are coming in for the right reasons, you're at least going to get a period of time out of them before that happens, where I think you'll find Republicans and Democrats working together. Mm-hmm. I make this observation. I used to belong to the Republican Governors Association, and I got out of it about 8 years ago. And, from the inside, you learn things that you wouldn't necessarily know, as an outsider, even as a business person, kind of looking into it. But one of the things that I took away was there was a lot more cooperation going on behind the scenes with the elected folks who you don't regularly hear their name. Mm. But the people that you hear their name, they're the advocates for this. We can't compromise. We can't move in one direction or another. And I believe that if we could get rid of some of these folks that have made it a career, that there would be a lot more cooperation. Now, here's the wild card. on the progressive side, this new drive, because they were so weak with coming up with young, strong candidates, you end up with this socialist movement. You just end up with these folks that went after young people effectively, who were ill-informed, who were just thinking about, how do I get mine? Mm-hmm. How do I get government to just take care of it? Because I've watched my parents and they didn't get theirs, so I want to get mine. And I think that on a near-term basis, maybe that's a benefit, but on a long-term basis, we all know that's going to die on the vine, and it's not going to work either. So I would just make this observation. There's a lot of different things going on. One of them is you're dealing with a business guy that's coming in and saying, we're not going to do it the way we used to. And oh, by the way, I don't really care if you make fun of me or if you call me names or if you do the typical political things. And by the way, if you think you can like blackmail me behind the scenes, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just have at it.
Yep.
Just know this, if you choose to go that way, you're going to get the bad side of me. Now, I have an opinion on Trump that some of what he is doing is because he has no other choice, and he's a New Yorker that's going to fight the street fight. Mm-hmm. And if you come after him, I'm sorry, he's going to come right back at you. But I do think there's some part of it that is the media magnet. It's the brand guy.
Yeah.
It's it's the guy that is building something long term. Let me give you something to just think about. So, because I give him credit and his family credit for being smart. So they built a nice business, but I wouldn't call the Trump brand one of the great brands of the world.
Sure.
I mean, they're not Coca-Cola or McDonald's or Apple or, they're just not. Well, let's just pretend for a minute he makes it 8 years. When he walks out the door at the end of 8 years, do you understand? They can put their family name on anything. Today, they can only put their family name on golf courses and hotels.
Yes.
When he leaves the presidency, he has built this army of middle-class people that will buy anything that has his name on it.
That's a great point.
This is an investment
That's a great
in creating
point.
a multi-billion-dollar company down the road.
That is such a great point. I had not thought of it that way, but you're right, because he has this rabid group of believers, of followers, of fans. He has created these true fans.
I'm not a prophet, but write this in your little book, Kent. When it's over, within the first 12 months, they will be in at least a half a dozen different businesses than they were in before.
Jot that down, Andrew. We're going to follow up on that.